Growing up, I was never taught to be emotionally articulate, and that's something that a lot of people here in Hawaii have to experience. We are taught to be strong, to never show emotion, and to never be weak. And that is a mindset that is very traditional, it's a mindset that is effective, but it doesn't really accommodate for mental illness. And that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. I wanted to talk about mental illness in relation to your mindset and how those two correlate. You see, I'm somebody who, through my experience in mental hospitals, psychiatric hospitals, through my experience with therapy, through my experience with my psychiatrist, through my experience with studying psychology in college, it's a bit overwhelming. It's an overwhelming amount of information that I want to funnel and tell all of you guys about, because I feel like many people can benefit from this. I think that through these experiences, through these lessons that I've been through, I can help people. So I'm going to be going through 4 signs that somebody's mental illness is setting in. Whether that be depression, anxiety, borderline, or BPD, or psychosis, or schizophrenia, or schizoaffective, or bipolar, or mania, stuff like that. Here are some signs to tell that that somebody isn't exactly mentally okay. And it could mean any mental illness, but it extremely pertains to at least these 4 examples. They're very similar to depression, or not similar, they're very linked with depression. So the first one is social withdrawal. This can happen throughout any mental illness, because in any mental illness there can be a factor of lack of motivation and lethargicness, and I will continue talking about that later. But social withdrawal is essentially when somebody cuts themselves off from any social interaction. This can also be seen as social anxiety. Social withdrawal would be an example of social withdrawal would be making plans with somebody and then cutting those plans off, not texting anybody, not having any calls, not having any human interaction, and staying in all day and not going out and interacting with people. The second one is rumination. Rumination is a bit more on the side of anxiety as opposed to depression. Rumination is where you take a thought and you keep constantly thinking about it, and you get in these thought loops where you're not able to break out of. And rumination is something that a lot of people with anxiety have to deal with, because it's something that is very, very specific. Now, what do I mean by that? It's specific in the idea that you are taking a aspect of your life and you are twisting it to suit your anxiety. You're changing it so that it becomes something to be anxious of, if that makes any sense. The third factor is low energy. This can be low or high energy. This can be in a range of depression, anxiety. This can be a range of mania. But if you have very low energy and you're very lethargic, then you're not going to be able. You're going to be pretty. You're not going to be in a good place. Essentially, what I'm trying to say. When you're very low energy, you're not able to do the things you need to do, and things that are very important, like self-care, get swept under the rug. Whereas with high energy, you are taken into specific situations and your mood is elevated. You have a lot of energy, you're manic, you feel like you can go run a mile, you feel like you can climb up a mountain with only your hands and no rope. That can lead you to do very irrational things. Exclusively buying, wasting a lot of money is something I struggled with when I went through mania. And also, you can come off as a bit extreme and end up pushing people away from you, which happens a lot. And the final thing I want to talk about is sleeping too much or too little. Sleeping too much can cause you to be even more tired than you were before, because if you don't get the right amount of sleep, you're gonna either be too you're gonna be too tired. Even if you get 12 hours of sleep, you're probably still gonna be tired. You get 8 hours of sleep, you might not be tired. You get 4 hours of sleep, you're definitely gonna be tired. But essentially, sleeping too much or too little can affect your mental health in the sense that it really messes with your circadian rhythm, and that's an important thing when it comes to mental health. Keeping a rhythm, a schedule, and a consistent attention to detail. You don't have to be extremely meticulous, that is. You all you have to be able to do is figure out which aspects you need to work on in order to move forward, because we can all learn it. We can all do more. We can all do better. And no matter where you are in your life, of course, we can all do better in some area. So if you're sleeping too much or too little, that can affect your ability to take your emotions and your well-being and be able to help it evolve as you move forward. So, I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk about mental health. It's something that I love to talk about all the time, and I really hope that you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, subscribe, like, all that. I'm late for my English 101 class, so I will see you later. I'll catch you in the next one. Ahui ho, mahalamopono.